This is shit I wish bitches would have told me before I went and got my BBL. For one, that shit hurts like hell.
Body image, self-confidence, unrealistic beauty expectations are some of the reasons why women get Brazilian butt lifts, popularly known as BBL. However, this procedure is not without complications. Let us listen to what some of the women who have gotten BBL have to say about what they wish they knew before getting this procedure.
This is shit I wish.
Don't get a BBL until you first think about these three things. Number one, make sure that your doctor does a lot of BBLs. Make sure that's one of the focuses of their practice. Number two, have real expectations for your BBL. Ask your doctor what kind of results you can achieve. Just because your girlfriend or your cousin or your sister went to that particular doctor, they have a different body shape to begin with, which gives the doctor the ability to create a different type of butt. So everybody has the potential for certain things with the butt lift or Brazilian butt lift or fat transfer. Ask your doctor what your expectation could be. Number three, make sure that your doctor is not planning on putting fat underneath the muscle. This is the dangerous way to do a BBL. BBLs can be done very safely by putting fat on top of the muscle. So that's a great question to ask your doctor that you're interviewing.
Intramuscular fat transfer is a technique during BBL whereby the fatty tissues or the fat is injected into the muscle instead of injecting it beneath the muscle or into the fatty tissues around the muscle. Technique has its risk and procedure. For example, there's something known as fat embolism. Here, the fat that has been injected into the muscle will travel through the bloodstream into the heart, the lungs, and obstruct the normal passage of blood through the blood tissues and through the arteries and veins, and this can be very fatal. Muscle damage. This can cause permanent damage or temporary damage to the muscle fibers, nerve tissues, and leading to pain in the muscle, weakness, or completely loss of motor function. There is also something known as asymmetry. Here, the fat that is transferred into the muscle might not be evenly distributed, causing loop-sided shapes of the butt, or some part of the butt is quite big and the other part of the butt is not quite big. Amongst these, there are so many other risks which is involved in the intramuscular fat transfer. This is why it is very important for you to completely and consciously consult your surgeon before making a decision. On the contrary, putting fat above the muscle during BBL is known as supramuscular fat transfer. Here, fat is injected above the muscles instead of injecting it into the muscle, and this technique is safer than the other. Hence, this is why you have to consult your doctor properly before making a decision.
This is the one thing that nobody mentioned to me before getting a fucking BBL. No one seems to mention how fucking swollen your vag gets. Like, it gets fucking swollen, bro. And I did do a little bit of vag lipo, you know, just to bring me down. But it was like craziness. Like, and I know people who have not had that same lipo, they still get that swelling because it all comes down, baby. Gravity pulls it down. So for example, 2 weeks after having my BBL, I go to the Grove with my boyfriend and I'm feeling good. 10 minutes in, we're at Aritzia, and this baby fucking swells 2, 3, 4, 5 times than what it is. It was like, why did I do this? I was like, take me home. Take me the fuck home. Because I even heard these girls in the corner be like, I would never let you walk out like that. I would be a bad friend if I ever let you walk out like that. And I knew they were talking about me. Who else would they fucking be talking about? And they're lucky, because if I wasn't healing, I would have beat their ass. But I was in a lot of pain. And the lesson is, ladies, wear your garment. Wear your garment. There's no reason to take it off. Yeah, wear your garment. And just be careful with the vag swelling afterwards. So Good luck.
Hey girls, in this video I'm going to be going over the 3 things that you want to avoid after getting a BBL to maintain your results. The first thing is to make sure that you do not put no pressure on your booty. This means no sitting down for, they recommend 6 weeks. I'm so crazy and I did not sit down for, I want to say 2.5 months to 3 months, but you do not need to be like me. Number 2 is making sure that you have a good faja. You do not want a faja that is really compressed around the booty and the hip area, because that can literally ruin your results. You want to make sure that your faja is compressed around the areas that they did liposuction. And lastly is protein intake as well as exercise. So personally, I did not start lifting any heavy weights until 2 months post-op, but I was doing light cardio, like moving my body right after surgery. Lastly is exercise and protein intake. It is extremely important to have a lot of protein post BBL because you are just helping your body recover what just happened to it. You want to make sure that you are eating the recommended amount of calories. Everybody is different because you do not want to be in a calorie deficit or else you might lose the fat that they put in. Also for exercise, I personally did not start going to the gym until 2 months post-op, but I of course was doing like light cardio, like, you know, going on walks, going on hikes, those type of things. But to actually be weight training, I did not do it until 2 months. And even when I did, I was really slowly getting into when I was working on my glutes. I just did not want to mess up the fat cells that they put into my body.
2 years ago, I got a BBL, and this is why I regret it. In high school, I was super confident about how I looked. I was only 115 pounds, but my skinniness did not matter to me. Until people started pointing it out as a flaw, did it really start affecting me. In high school, my best friend's dad used to tell me I looked like a 12-year-old boy because of how skinny I was, and that used to really bother me. When I went to college, I was literally dating this boy who would make fun of how skinny I was, and while he was doing all of that, he was liking pictures of really thick girls on Instagram. In my sophomore year, I was so insecure about my body that I started going to the gym more and working out. And that was great and it helped me out a lot. I gained a lot of weight, but I was still insecure about my body. A few years later, my ex and I went through a really bad breakup, and basically I ended up getting a BBL. Long story short, I paid a lot of money and went through a lot of pain because of how I thought society wanted to see me, and because I felt so insecure based on things that happened to me in my life. I won't lie, I looked great. But honestly, beauty fades, so it's best to find confidence from within. And it's alright if you want a few nips and tucks here and there, but just make sure you're doing it for yourself and no one else.
I wonder how difficult it is going to be not sitting on your butt for a prolonged period of time, and some people even say 6 weeks or 3 months. Anyways, skinny shaming is the act of mocking or humiliating people that we see that are on the thinner side or on the skinnier side. However, it is very funny because what beauty standard is perceived to be differs among different continents. I just believe that beauty is a social construct, because if you come to Asian countries, they perceive thinner women to be more beautiful. However, if you come down to the West or even to African countries, more curvier, thicker women are perceived to be more beautiful. I believe this is also one of the reasons why women in the West and even in Africa and its environs are usually more prone to getting BBL. And I'm not saying that women in the Asian countries do not get any type of surgical procedure, because actually they do, but we're talking about Brazilian butt lift in specific. So yeah, let's get back to the video.
This is shit I wish bitches would have told me before I went and got my BBL.
Yeah, to piggyback off of her video, I only got lipo 360, and it's a lot of stuff that they did not tell you. They do not tell you until never. You have to figure the shit out after your surgery. I think I underestimated how codependent you become when you're recovering. You cannot do shit by yourself, like at least for me. And it wasn't like I was just in severe pain. It's just like certain movements I still can't do. I can't bend over and I can't wipe my own butt. Let's start there. Like, my mom has to help me wipe my butt. I'm 11 days post-op and I still can't bend over. And like I said, I only had lipo 360, not a tummy tuck, not a BBL, and it's still kind of uncomfortable for me. Another thing they didn't tell me is them first 2 days after surgery, your ass stank. Like, you really stink. Like, that. Okay, for instance, I still have my drains in, which I'm scheduled to get them out. My doctor told me to leave it in for 10 to 14 days, but it's long overdue to get taken out now. But you stink. The shit that go in here that's coming out of your body, it fucking reeks. Like, I was embarrassed for my massage therapist that next day after surgery to even come touch me because it was just the fluids. It's just, it doesn't smell good. Another thing is swell hell. Like, no exaggeration. Swell hell is like if you eat something salty. So I took my son to Chick-fil-A the other day, and you know everybody just take a little fry out the bag, even if you're not eating unhealthy, you're gonna cheat. I ate 2 fries. Mind you, they the waffle fries, so they kind of big. I was literally swelling up. Like, my stomach was poofing up within fucking minutes. I ain't gonna say seconds. Within minutes. I'm like, damn, why my thigh getting so tight? It's because you cannot eat salt. Stay away from salt. Another thing for me, mentally, you have to literally be able to handle all the changes that you're going through. Like, for me, I had a nice shape before. I just wanted to enhance. But I feel so bad because I was so mean to myself beforehand. Like, I can't even find no good before pictures with my little fupa, y'all, because I was so ashamed of my body. And now it's like, okay, it's gone now. You see how easy it was to fix that, whether it was with the gym or surgery. You should have been nicer to yourself. Be nice and love your body beforehand, because you're not going to love yourself afterwards. Luckily, I loved myself afterwards. I loved myself before, but I just was kind of mean to her. Like, damn, I had a baby. This might be too TMI, but because your lymph nodes are down in your genital area. Do we got genitals or do I just say vagina? Whatever. Because your lymph nodes is down there, it's going to be big. Like a moose knuckle. Like, what is going on? Like, all these fluids, it's making my vagina big. But other than that, lipo has definitely been like an 8 out of 10.
Imagine what it feels like not to be able to wipe your own butt, not to be able to completely and confidently take care of yourself. That is a very crazy experience. I'm not even going to lie. That's why I feel like before you decide to make the decision to get a Brazilian butt lift, make sure you have a supportive community around you. It could be your mom or whoever it is at all. And also, she said something about the aftercare. Make sure you have budget for aftercare, and also budget more than you actually need because of cases of emergency. Who knows?
So we all know this little urinal thing, it don't be given. The pee go through the back, it go through the front. It get on your faja. You gotta sit around and pee 24/7. It's disgusting. It doesn't work. It's trash. Goodbye. We're gonna go the ghetto route, and you're gonna get a Fiji bottle, take the water out, cut off the top of the Fiji bottle so it looks like this. And imagine this is your moochie. Cup it to your moochie just like that. And the pee will never get on your faja, literally. And the good thing about this is that it's not unsanitary because you can wash it. So shout out to Fiji. Y'all should sponsor me. Or not even Fiji. You can use Poland Spring. You can use any type of bottle. But this the one that's working for me. It's always going to work. You never.
I'm here to make a video of what they don't tell you about BBLs. Like, no one tells you, and I'm going to break it down because I wish someone would have told me. Okay, so first of all, whenever you want to get one, they're going to send you for lab work, an EKG, and get medically cleared by your doctor. I didn't know that. It's one thing you didn't know. Okay, number 2. My clinic didn't do this. I wish they did, but make sure you give your friend, your cousin, whoever's going to be taking you home, your prescription, because it takes hours for you to get the prescription because no one has it like immediately, which I wish they did because, you know, people be having surgeries and people need this prescription. So make sure they have it prior into you going into surgery so you have that medication after for pain. Okay, number 3, one thing you should know is that massages do hurt. The first one I had fucking hurt. I didn't come prepared, and I wish I would have took one of the pills I received or medication I received for pain. But come prepared, be mentally prepared that your first massage is always going to hurt, and no one tells you this shit. You're going to be sensitive in the front, and it's going to hurt. It's not easy. You have to be aware also that you can't sleep on your back. You're going to have to sleep on your stomach until you recover, and it's going to be 4 weeks. Not for a week, 4 weeks. And
if you do have your boobs done, just know it's gonna hurt because the pressure, it's not fun. You also have to wear your faja for 3 months. Don't think for a month, I'm good. 2 months, I'm already feeling better. No. 3 months, bitch. Wear that shit for 3 months and know that you're gonna have to get massages also for 3 months. Don't expect it to be 1 month, 2 months. No. Get your massages for 3 months. Wear that fucking faja for 3 months.
What's happening with the BBLs?
It's been touted as the most dangerous cosmetic surgery because there was a study many years ago that found a 1 in 3,000 mortality rate from this operation. The key with the Brazilian butt lift, though, is doctors were injecting fat into the muscle of the buttock. And the reason why they did that is because whenever you inject fat, the fat needs to get blood supply for it to heal into its new location. And so what has a lot of blood supply are muscles. And so the idea is like, oh, then I'll just inject fat into these muscles. The fat will stay, the muscles will look bigger, and now you've got a much nicer looking butt. The problem with the butt is that the butt also has some of the largest blood vessels in the body. And so if you inject fat into these muscles, the fat can enter the bloodstream. That fat, if it gets into your bloodstream, it can go to your heart and lungs, and you can die almost instantly. That is a death of BBL.
So the pain is probably equivalent to like not working out for a long time.
So the way she explained it is not my experience at all. Clearly her pain level was somewhat mild. I was about to die. I remember waking up from surgery screaming from the top of my lungs. The pain was unbearable. The next day I was in the hospital because my doctor didn't answer the phone. It was just wild. It's literally like getting dropped off in the jungle and getting your ass whooped by 20 gorillas, getting jumped by 1,000 Mayweathers. I mean, I don't know, hitting your toe on the corner of a metal box spring times 1,000,000,000. Bitch, it hurts. No, never again.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and give you the truth about BBLs. Now, if you're on the fence of getting one, I think you should watch this video. If you don't want to listen, you want to go ahead and swipe now. And the truth is, you're getting these BBLs for other females. Shocking, I know. And you could disagree. But the truth of the matter is, guys really don't care how big your butt is. Let me explain. One of the first lessons that I had to learn when I was dating is if a guy really likes you, if he really truly likes you and he wants to be with you, he's not going to care about how you look. He's not going to care how big your butt is. He's not going to care if you have boobs. He's not going to care if you have money or not. If he likes you, he will be with you. Now, back in the day, I used to have a little boo-boo, okay? He used to juggle me and this other girl. The other girl was less attractive. I don't like to use the word ugly because at the end of the day, people are just a reflection of yourself. And it was because he had an emotional connection with this woman. An emotional connection cannot be brought with an ass. Now, that being said, what you think is going to project how people treat you. So it's important to always take care of your mental health. Because what you think, how you treat yourself is how other people are going to treat you. Now, the irony about BBLs, just imagine getting your ass done just to come back to see that nobody is still giving you the attention that you want. Or if you do get attention, it's not going to be the attention that you want. What women have to realize is we set the bar of what is beautiful. And we cannot blame social media and the fact that they put women out here with ridiculously big asses and big ass titties and, you know, hair and makeup like this. Because we have to take responsibility because we follow after that. Now, just to sum up everything I just said, getting a big butt will not make you confident. I mean, it'll give you a nice low high, but you're always going to be longing for the next beautiful thing. And what are you going to change next? Your nose? Got a light-skinned friend, look like Michael Jackson. Got a dark-skinned friend, look like Michael Jackson. But for real, that is the truth. Now, that being said, there is a plus side for people getting these BBLs. Now, everybody who has a natural body, you might not have the biggest boobs or the biggest butts. Let me tell you something. We are going to be the new standard of beautiful. Give it a year. There's a trend going on. People want authentic. Authentic. Big booties are such a common thing. That's literally all I see on TikTok. It doesn't even faze me anymore. It's too normal. But whatever you decide to do, just know that you're beautiful.
What do you think about people traveling for BBLs?
Controversial, because, you know, there's nothing more fun than talking shit and saying you should never fly out of your town to get a BBL because you should come to me, and I believe that. But I can't say that because I have people flying in from all over the world to get BBLs with me. I think the most important thing is wherever you go, if you travel for a BBL, you need to make sure that you are set up with good care, not only during the time of your surgery, but afterwards. Look, I'm the clinical chief of plastic surgery at Cedars-Sinai. I cannot tell you how many disasters I see from people having had surgery elsewhere in the world. And I mean, yeah, sometimes it's just really shitty surgery, but a lot of times it's just because they weren't set up with the right post-operative care for when they go home and things spiral into disasters. So bottom line, most important thing, if you get a BBL or any plastic surgery away from your home, you gotta know that you can get cared for any reason if something goes wrong or if you have a question.
5 things I wish I knew before getting my body done in DR. Shit. I wish I knew Spanish. It was such a culture shock. I don't know if it's my first world privilege, but I just thought that everybody spoke English. Yeah, I was in for a rude awakening. And I had a lot of interactions with... What the hell is he doing? I had a lot of interactions with women down there. So before your surgery, you're supposed to go get a whole bunch of tests done, right? And the women who I had to go and get the tests done from really had nasty like dispositions, and it was like a figure it out kind of attitude. Like, you need me, I don't need you. And granted, yes, you are right, but they made it really difficult for anybody who didn't speak Spanish. You have to go down there knowing, like, I am going to be okay. Like, I am going to figure out a way to communicate with these people if it kills me or not. Like, you get what I'm saying? Number 2, don't go down there with the Amazon faja, okay? Go down there with no faja. And when you get there, go to one of the like facilities that make the fajas. Like, they have like a whole bunch of them. Go get your faja down in DR. Number 3. I know you think that you're going to eat the food from the recovery house, and granted, you may, but the fast food in DR is so good. So make sure you put that in your budget, okay, Bookie? Number 4. I don't know what it is about third world countries, but they can't fucking drive, okay? They can't drive. If you're one of those people that like gets anxiety really bad and gets really worked up when you're in a car with a bad driver and like hyperventilating, maybe DR isn't the country for you. My driver was from my recovery house. We hit somebody and kept driving. Not like a person, but like another car. And all they do is just honk and like keep it moving. That's a problem for me. That was a problem for me. Okay, number 5. I'm gonna get serious with y'all because this is the most important piece of information I can give you. I don't care how cool your surgery sister is. If that is not your real sister, shit, if that's not your real sister, do not go to DR with her and expect her to take care of you. Go to DR with someone who loves you and is willing to go to war with God if anything happens to you.
Hey guys, welcome to BBL Talk Part I Don't Remember. Today we're going to talk about how to avoid messing up your BBL. We're going to get right into it. Number 1, fajas. Don't think that just because this part is mesh or whatever material it is, it can't compress your hips, because it definitely can. So make sure you're getting a faja that fits your waist snug but does not fit your waist snug, because that honestly gave me hip dips. You do not want to mess up your hips by having a compressed hip faja. Make sure your faja is loose at the bottom and not too tight. Even though it might not feel like it's compressing, it could be compressing. Number 2, your lipofoams. When you're wearing your lipofoams, if your lipofoams is too long and it kind of goes into your hips, cut them. Cut them. They only need to be from here to here. From the end of your stomach to the top, from here to here. Don't let them come down to your hips. Don't let them overlap on your hips. Please don't do that. Number 3, you need to eat your protein. You need to eat as much as you can. Feed the fat, because if you lose weight, you could get hip dips and you could just simply just lose the fat. You're not feeding the fat might just die. Number 4, don't sit on your fat too early. Don't lay on your sides too early, because that can fuck up your results. What else? Number 5, I think that's about it for right now. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you got a BBL and you know another way that you can kind of like mess up your hips or your butt or whatever, let me know. So yeah, basically for me, that's it. I feel like that's what kind of like messed up my results a little bit, and that's why I gotta get the fillers. That's why I gotta go back and do round 2 to fill in my hips a little bit, is because the lipofoams, the faja, and all of that. So make sure you're really on your shit. Make sure you're eating your protein. Make sure you're wearing the correct faja. All of that, because in the end, when you see the real results, you'll know if you did right or you did wrong. And you want to do right, so you get right. You know? You feel me? All right. So yeah, bye y'all. I just hurt my nail. What the hell? But yeah, bye y'all.
What is one thing that I wish I knew before going into surgery? Does not sway or change my decision to get my body done at all. Because baby, look at this thing. Look at this. But I didn't know that after you get surgery, you can't poop for like 3 days. And I am a very regular person. I go like 3 times a fucking day. And then to be cut in that, like divide that by 9, that's crazy. And I just felt bloated. And the first time I did go poop, I had to drink prune juice, like fresh prune juice, and within 30 minutes I was using the bathroom. I'm sorry, this is so much information, too much information for some. But even with that, with my tummy tuck and lipo, I couldn't push. Like I just had to sit on the toilet and like let gravity do its thing. I wish I would have known that before. It doesn't change my decision at all, but like my first poop was not fun. I didn't take any stool softeners or medication for that. Just fresh prune juice did the trick.
Listen, I know a lot of people are embarrassed to talk about constipation, but we have to talk about it. We have to have a conversation about constipation and surgery. Painkillers such as hydrocodone and Vicodin, one of their biggest side effects is constipation. I have had my own constipation issue, and I am going to share it with you. I know it's kind of embarrassing, or maybe it's hard for you to hear, but you have to listen to what I'm saying. You do not want to play with bowel blockage. It can become something very serious. You may have to be admitted to an ER, and it can become very dangerous just because your body is not just trapping in toxins. So when you're normally constipated, your body is not able to release a lot of the toxins that are in your system. So imagine coming off of surgery when you have all the anesthesia and you have all the medicines that you're taking and everything else that's going into your body now trapped inside and you can't get it out. That's when it becomes almost life-threatening. I did have 2 small bowel movements in between, so I basically went 12 days without having a real solid bowel movement. I actually wasn't focused on it because I was still dealing with a lot of pain. But the one thing that I was doing, I was taking Colace, which is recommended by the doctor to take once a day. I would actually, after the first 2 days, I would start taking Colace twice a day, especially if you haven't had anything to move. The first couple days, you're not going to want to have a bowel movement, especially if you have the procedure that I have, and especially doing lipo across your full body like I did on the backside. Just because it's so painful. But once you start getting into day 4 and 5, you really need to start having a bowel movement to start getting those toxins out. You don't want them to sit in your system. With me, by the time day 12 came around, guys, like I literally was seconds away from going to the hospital via ambulance. It was so bad. I mean, it was extremely horrible. I've had babies, so I have the right to compare anything to labor. This was up there with child labor, with no type of epidural or Demerol to alleviate some of the pain.
Getting BBL is a personal choice, and I just think that women should make sure they make adequate inquiries and get information on whoever or wherever they want to get their BBL done, and also make sure to find out the weigh the pros and cons that are involved in getting this surgical procedure. However, women should also remember that what a beauty standard would look like would continue to keep on evolving as the years goes by, and that your self-esteem would not be cured by getting a BBL. I believe it all starts in the head. It's all a mental process. However, good luck to anyone who wants to get a BBL. I mean, I might get one in the future, who knows. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe, comment, and share if you care. My name is Sandra, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.